Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com.
Here we are. This is Christopher. Eric will be joining us fairly soon, I hope. This is a special Thanksgiving edition of the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E, November 25th, 2009, broadcasting live from the internationally famous C&E studios in Greensboro, North Carolina. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you are interested in calling into the show, our call-in number is, excuse me, well, I'm not sure what it is. This is Eric's deal. Hold on a second. Guest call-in number, 646-716-6928. You can also go to blogtalkradio.com/incoherent ramblings, and you can find out a lot of information about us. You got Facebook, you got Twitter, MySpace. You can even go to, you can listen to the shows live here on Blog Talk Radio, or you can download. After the fact. You can do click to talk. You can chat with us. You can join us here with Stuck in the 70s, our UK correspondent. There's many different ways you can connect with us out here on the worldwide interweb. And as promised, Eric has joined us. How are you, Eric?
Fantastic. And yourself, Chris?
I'm doing well. I told him that you were taking care of some official show business right out of the studio.
Indeed. Hot off the press stories.
Hot off the presses. So
I figured there to be 3 minutes late and come prepared and be on time and have absolutely nothing to talk about. So
exactly. Well, I have absolutely nothing to talk about.
Well, good.
I was just letting our users know that this is our special Thanksgiving edition.
It is.
It is. We're both in town tomorrow, so I guess there's no reason why we couldn't do it tomorrow. But it's Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll be spending time with friends and family.
Indeed.
So indeed. Thought we would. And this was actually Stuck in the 70s, the one that called our hand on it last week. Said, "Hey, you guys, next week is the Thanksgiving," and it prompted us to.
We obviously weren't thinking ahead.
No, we weren't. We were not. And so anyhow,
but we're here today.
Yes, we are. We are live.
So
you doing okay today, Eric? Oh, you cut your finger off?
Yeah.
Eric has the most hand and finger injuries of any person I know.
And they're usually knife related.
Yes, they are.
Knife or scissors.
Knife or scissors, or some kind of sharp instrument.
Indeed. Well, this was nice. Well, because of the cutting, a box knife.
A box knife. Well, because, razor sharp.
Yeah.
Just what you need.
Yeah, just the tip of my finger cut right off.
I thought maybe you were making some slaw.
No.
And put a little extra meat in there.
No, but the next day.
sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty here.
Two weeks in a row.
Wait a second. Show is on, but not streaming. Stuck in the 70s. Can you hear us?
That was bizarre.
That is bizarre. I don't know. I don't know if we're back or not. We'll talk like we are.
That's right.
No, I think there's a little bit of a delay because well, remember last time this happened, it came up and the show is on but not streaming, went away.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what's going on here. Hello.
Hey, Bernice and Joy, tell everyone which power wheelchair got you to the Grand Canyon.
Hop around. Now I'm free to see the world.
There we go. We are back. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties.
The power of hover round.
The power of hover. The hover round that we are on when we do this show, sent to us by our unofficial sponsors, is so powerful it makes the cell phone drop.
Yes.
We apologize for that. The second time it's happened, and out of 43 shows, and both of them happened back to back. So
that's right. We'll have to get on that. We need some updating in our studios.
Exactly. Maybe we will update to a link. Now that I have unlimited long distance on my landline, maybe we might give that a try.
Are you cooking anything for Thanksgiving?
I am not cooking anything. I asked my mother if I could bring something, and she said no. I was going to bake a cake. I actually had some stuff to bake a cake. And then I decided I would...
Is it a box where you had milk and...
No, well, some other stuff. I do bake from scratch, but I don't currently have a stand mixer, so it makes it a little bit more difficult.
Right.
No, it's more than just a box, though. It's a box, a little pudding mix, a few little tricks. But she said she already had a pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie. She's going to have a turkey, and she's got all of her Thanksgiving meal prepared. So
I usually make the desserts, but this year I think all I'm not making any desserts. I'm making some corn casserole. That's it.
Corn
casserole.
Should make good pictures. You should take some pictures of your corn casserole. Mm-hmm.
Be the name. So, what kind of stories you got for us? I see you got like a bunch in the hopper.
I do. I have some. I have a good story, and I have a follow-up story from a story we actually had a couple months ago.
Okay.
Where there was a verdict in a court case. And I have I do have I do have one very good story.
Okay. Funny or good?
No, good.
Okay.
Good-natured. It's a San Diego eighth grader. Mm-hmm. He donates like teddy bears to sick children. But he's a smart kid. Check this out. In the home of 8th grader Jason O'Neill, teddy bears are everywhere. They're black, white, or brown. Some have bow ties and some have ribbons. All over the place. Thanks to O'Neill, a young entrepreneur who started his own company at age 9.
Wow.
They're all going to sick children for Christmas. At Christmas, I wanted to do something special, so I started a fundraiser this year to raise money for buying a bunch of bears. All the bears will be given to children at Rady Children's Hospital in San Diego. O'Neill has been giving money to charity since he started Pencil Bugs 4 years ago. The company's main product is pencils with hand-painted styrofoam toppers designed to look like bugs. He sold hundreds of them in the last 4 years, and he's also expanded his product line, now including T-shirts, greeting cards, and he's working on a board game.
Wow.
In the beginning of my business, I knew that I was very fortunate being a kid and being able to do all of this, so I wanted to help other kids in some way. Let's see here. Oh, it says it's streaming last week's show.
We'll just log out, close the session, and open a new one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see what show is. Yeah, let's do that. Make it much ragged.
Yeah, well, it didn't matter if we weren't on.
Okay, we're going to give this a try again. Now it says the show is on but not streaming. I don't know what that means.
On live now, 46 minutes remaining.
But yeah, that's what it said before. And you said it was streaming last week's show. Well, we will see what's going on here. This is what we get for using a cell phone instead of a landline. Okay, well, we have exited the show and logged back on completely, closed the browser and everything. So,
Do you think we're on or no?
well, it says on live. Show is on but not streamed.
What's refreshing?
I guess he's refreshing his browser like I just said. I don't understand because
Sunday is the Coke and family. Or Bushmills.
I don't understand because this did this one other time when I tried to call in, and it said show is on but not streaming, which would say to me it's not streaming live. So how can it be on if it's not? Maybe you can. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Well, if you are out there listening to this after the fact, we apologize.
Yes, we're obviously having some serious technical difficulties. We had a little last week.
This appears to be a Blog Talk Radio issue too, though, because he said we were going in and out.
Right.
When we were on live the entire time.
What is this icon from the top right there?
Video, stop scrolling, turn on sound, message history, and clear screen. So, stuck in the 70s, here he has nothing in the player and no click to talk. And now he is angry. Okay, so there must be a Blog Talk Radio issue here. I'm going to close this and go into Chrome. It doesn't work with Internet Explorer, or else I would do that.
What were we in?
Firefox.
Blog Talk doesn't work with Internet Explorer?
Not with IE8. I can't get it to work. Well, I shouldn't say it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. It doesn't.
You have a landline, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's upstairs.
Well, it's right here.
Why aren't we trying to use that?
I don't, because we've always just used this. Okay. It says reconnecting. It says it's reconnecting us now. So I would have to think that means we're on live. but we don't know. I mean, you would have to think once the show is initiated, you would be able to call back into it if your call dropped, right?
You would think. Well, we did last week.
Yeah. One other time I had this problem, though, and it was like 3 minutes to go, so by the time I was able to get back in, I didn't worry about it. Okay, well, we'll give it a shot. Give it a try now. I don't understand why. It must be an issue with Blog Talk Radio. I mean, I don't know what else it could be. Because it clearly says show is on, but not streaming.
We didn't even know if he's there.
Yeah, he just popped back in.
Hey, Bernice and Joy, tell everyone which power wheelchair got you to the Grand Canyon.
Hover round. No one's free to see the world.
With a Hover-Round, you truly are free to see the world. Hover-Round's award-winning compact round design makes it the most maneuverable power chair in the world. And because it's portable enough to easily fit in a car trunk and powerful enough to pull a 2-ton van, Hover-Round gives you the freedom to go almost anywhere, even the Grand Canyon. Find out if a Hover-Round is right for you. Call one of our friendly mobility specialists for a free evaluation and free Hover-Round video. Hover-Round's licensed nurses will work with you to determine if you qualify for Medicare, VA, or other insurance. With Medicare and a supplement, owning a Hover-Round could cost you little or no money out of pocket. So call now. Declare your freedom to see the world in a Hover-Round.
There we go. The full commercial of our unofficial. Oh, here we are.
Hey.
We're back, just like that. Apparently, when you call back in, it takes 3 minutes.
It takes 20. I think we were off for like 20 minutes.
Wow. Okay, well, we should be completely live now and streaming live to the interweb.
We ended up having to switch browsers.
Yes.
I don't think that was a problem, though. I think it's just a problem with Blog Talk.
I think I'm going to go, they have those Blog Talk 101 radio shows twice a week. I think I'm going to join it next time and ask them about that. Tell them, I have a landline now, but if you're using if you're using whatever, if the call drops, can we, how do we go right back into it? There's got to be a way to do that. I don't know.
Right.
So anyhow, basically this young man has owned his own business for 4 years. He sold hundreds of.
How old is he now?
He's 13.
Wow.
He began a fundraising campaign encouraging children across the country to donate. He's received more than $700 in donations. A group of students from Michigan sent him $119 from a bake sale. Other kids have sent only a few dollars. He says every little bit helps. So basically, he's thankful for the fact that he hasn't had any tragedies in his life, and he's looking to help people that are less fortunate than him. So that was a good deal there.
It is. I got kind of a good story. You know, mine are usually kind of good. It's titled "Back from the Dead." 56-year-old man brought back to life after 47 minutes, 4,500 chest compressions, and 8 zaps with a defibrillator. He was dead for 47 minutes. What happens if your heart stops beating? Is it possible to survive? CBS 2 recently met a Brooklyn man who lived after his heart quit for 47 minutes. And it's all thanks to a team of doctors who refused to give up, and they brought him back from the dead. These doctors just did not stop, said Joe Trelossi, fighting through tears to find the words to describe his experience. Without them, I'm serious to tell you, I wouldn't be here. It's a medical miracle. Basically, these doctors just wouldn't give up.
Where was this located?
This was in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm. He went into an emergency room feeling sick and disoriented. He collapsed a minute later. The doctors themselves were responsible for giving my chance to live, and they kept working on him for 47 minutes and ended up bringing him back.
Wow. So, I mean, that's definitely outside the norm. Usually after X amount of time, they give up and they go ahead and pronounce him dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say that only 1 out of 4 people survive sudden cardiac arrest. Most die within 10 minutes of heart failure, and those who survive 30% suffered serious brain damage. And he apparently has no ill effect from being dead for having his heart stop for 47 minutes.
Wow. You need a magnifying glass?
It is small, isn't it?
That's, I think, the smallest print I've ever seen.
Well, I just hit print on my thing instead of copying it in my Word and adjusting the size that I usually do. Like I said, I only had like 5 minutes to prepare today.
Well, that's a good story.
It is a good story. So, doctors are heroes.
Yes, they are.
So, going above and beyond.
Well, I have another good story.
Okay.
And I'm not making this up.
Okay.
The tagline here is, in sagging economy, man donates bras. Julia Sledge runs a nonprofit program in San Diego that helps former women inmates re-enter society. Among the basic items that many of these women need when leaving the prison or jail is underwear. So when Sledge ran across Oz, internet offer to donate bras to low-income women in need, she quickly responded. 2 weeks later, a shipment of 50 bras arrived, which Sledge, founder of St. Taylor's Wraparound, will distribute to women who are on parole and unemployed. Good quality bras, which cost between $20 and $50, can be expensive for low-income or out-of-work women. Mm-hmm. So basically, here is a guy who runs his own business, just like the young man from San Diego, and came across this other lady who runs this charity where she's getting underwear for women that are trying to turn their life around. And he was like, hey, I want to send in some bras. So he did.
There you go.
An entrepreneur helping out, possible entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. Or they'll just go back to jail again. Who knows? But you got to give them a chance. That's what my mother and I were discussing about. Basically, it turned into a Shawshank Redemption discussion. You remember when Saul he goes out, he considers committing a crime so he can go back in, and besides, he didn't want to commit a crime, so he hangs himself.
Right.
Brooks. I always call him Saul. I don't know why. Brooks. Yes. The dude with a rook.
Yes.
If someone's been in prison for a while, they have to be given an opportunity. If we expect them,
it becomes institutionalized.
Yeah, but if we expect them to come out and be rehabilitated and not commit crimes, they need to be able to do something with their life. So, good for this guy.
Yeah. I didn't bring the story with me. I was watching the news last night, and apparently somebody was in jail for, I think it was rape and murder, but I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. And he got a life sentence, and this was 40 years ago. Mm-hmm. And on the books back then, life was defined as 40 years.
Yeah, that's a life sentence, is 40 years.
So he sued, and I think he's on death row. Mm-hmm. He sued, and the courts ruled in his favor. And I guess it hasn't been quite 40 years, because with good time off for good behavior, he's actually getting out. And apparently that's setting a precedent, and now there's dozens of criminals that
meet the same criteria?
Yeah, are meeting the same criteria and are likely going to be released for serving, I guess up to 40 years of a life sentence.
Well, yeah, I mean, life sentence is on the books is 40 years. It's a little misleading. That's why when people get like 7 life sentences. People are like, well, it doesn't make any sense. You only have 1 life. But if you get 7 life sentences, you're going to die in jail. I mean, there's no way around it. That's interesting.
I wish I had a story to go along with it, but that's just whatever. I have a story about a man who didn't know who his dad was.
Mm-hmm.
So he does a search trying to find his lost father.
Oh, my goodness.
U.S. man has spoken of his anguish after discovering his long-lost father is apparently the notorious serial killer Charles Manson. That's not a happy ending.
Leave sleeping dogs alive.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just not know.
Right.
Matthew Roberts, 41, tracked down his biological mother after she put him up for adoption in 1968. He's a year I was born. But he sank into depression after the woman revealed his dad is none other than the jailed cult leader of Charles Manson. He says, I'm a peaceful person, trapped in the face of a monster. Because they put the pictures of them side by side, and they do look very similar.
At that age, yeah, they definitely are similar.
Of course, the Manson and his family of commune followers committed 9 gruesome murders in Los Angeles in 1969. Their victims included a pregnant actress Sharon Tate, film director Roman Polanski's wife. Mr. Roberts' real mother claimed that he was born after Manson raped her in a drug-fueled orgy in 1967. So,
wouldn't doubt it.
The son, who bears a striking resemblance to the killer, told the newspaper, I didn't want to believe it. I was frightened and angry. It's like finding out that Adolf Hitler is your father. So,
yeah, I know I've told you this before, and I probably have even mentioned it on the show, but it goes along with the story. Dan Rather was interviewing Manson, and he, it was right before one of the many times he's been up for parole, and thankfully he's never been released.
Right.
And he was like, what will you do if you get released? He goes, I can imagine if I've been in prison for that long, I'd probably like go to a diner and get me a good country cooked meal, or he said perhaps go to the movies. He said, or perhaps go to Las Vegas, and kind of winked. And Manson was like, well, you know what, Dan? He's like, I'm going to go, if I get paroled, he goes, I'm going to go to the first living being that I can find and kill them with my bare hands. And why is he up for parole?
Right.
Does he show rehabilitation? I don't know. So
wow.
He's been up for parole countless times. I can't remember. It's 5, 6. It's always denied. So apparently, even in California, where they seem to be a little bit more lenient with their criminals, they have enough sense to realize this guy is not going to rehabilitate, and he will kill again.
Right.
A horrible tragedy he committed there.
Wow.
Don't really feel much sorrow for Roman Polanski. He should be in jail with Manson, as far as I'm concerned. But it was unfortunate for his wife, Sharon, and her family. Well, here's a good news story. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Stone Cold Steve Austin, is that him? No. Deer hunters help feed the hungry. This is what I've always said. This comes from your home state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Hunters are donating more venison to scrap food banks as Ohio and other states offer financial aid aimed at managing high deer populations. Basically, the charities, the Second Harvest Food Bank says the number of people served by its member charities was up 37% in the fourth quarter ending June 30th, compared with the previous fourth quarter. Groups like Farmers and Hunters Feeding the Hungry and Safari Club International have promoted venison donations to pantries in Ohio and other states. But processing and packaging costs deer hunters, especially in tough economic times. Processing one deer can cost $70 or more, in addition to the hunting equipment and license costs. Anything that can help hunters with that is great. It gets more deer harvested and helps the needy at the same time. And some of the people at the soup kitchens are saying no more hot dogs and bologna, so they're pleased because they're getting some quality meat.
Yeah.
And I've often said that I actually enjoy hunting. I like the steps that you go through to go hunting, except for I'm not interested in field dressing an animal and eating it. But I was reared that if you kill something, you have to eat it.
Right.
So I actually, the few times I have killed an animal, I either field dressed it or field dressed it with my cousin, and I donated the meat to soup kitchen. So
I've never got a deer before. I've only been bow hunting for deer.
Mm-hmm.
But no, my aunts and uncles and cousins up in Minnesota, they always get their fill of deer up there. That's where I field dressed for one once.
Well, and if you have a freezer full and you get another deer, I think it's I've always said that. Dress it, get the meat separated out, and then take it to your local soup kitchen. They will not turn it down. I can guarantee you that. And if you're going to be going hunting anyhow, and you already have your freezer full, then why go buy meat at the grocery store to take to them? Because you're going to go hunting anyhow. That's expense that you're willing to have because you enjoy hunting. Right. So I think more people should. Or
take some of your frozen food to them.
Take some of your frozen, right?
Free up some room.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I thought that was a pretty nice story.
It is a good story.
Feeding the homeless.
I got a story from Canada. You have any plans to go there anytime soon?
Canada.
No, I don't. Let's see here. For those of you who don't follow news over the Great White North, I will fill you in a little bit. The last month, the distracted driver law came into effect, whereas you will not be able to chat away on a cell phone while driving without risk of incurring a fine of up to $500. And it seems the Canadian politician wants to take it one step further. Jim Bradley made this statement Thursday after telling reporters he was proud of the new legislation he helped draft, and as they walked away, he mentioned his plans to make this a law much more encompassing in the near future. He was quoted as saying, "Sure, talking on the cell phone while driving is dangerous, but there are many other activities occurring during driving that are just as dangerous. For example, the other day I was almost sideswiped by a man who was completely distracted while picking his nose." So apparently he's trying to get a law passed with a hefty fine of $850 for drivers who are picking their nose. So be careful if you're driving in Canada.
How about if you're a woman that's farting?
I don't think it's distracting. You don't have to get your hands off.
I don't know. It depends on what the word means. If I remember correctly, farting means to apply makeup.
Oh.
Yes.
I think it's farting.
No, farting.
Farting. I misunderstood you, although
yeah.
I wouldn't have known.
Right here it says farting while driving, more dangerous than cell phones.
There you go.
Maybe so. I knew you was.
How about dressing?
Dressing.
Some people get dressed or shaving. Shaving can be distracting.
I saw a guy going down I-40 here in North Carolina between Greensboro and Winston, and he had a laptop mounted to his right, much like the police officers here do. He had in his left hand, he had a cell phone that I would have to assume he was texting because he was holding it in his hand, but his thumb was going crazy on it. Right. In his right hand,
I've been guilty of that once or twice.
At his right hand, he was typing on his laptop.
Right.
And then to top it all off, he had on headphones and he was like bouncing up and down, rocking out to the music. Now that had to be the same. That would be like driving 10 times over the legal limit.
Right.
I mean, there's no way that he could safely do that. I don't care what anybody says, to have all that business, especially with a laptop. I mean, seriously. And why did you need to be texting and serving the web? I mean, I don't know. While you're driving down the highway.
What about the story we had a couple months ago where the woman was breastfeeding?
Yes.
While driving in a school zone during the rain.
Right. Sounds something like Britney Spears.
Right.
Can I sign up for that? I don't know. Yes. So, I guess if you're going to Canada, try not to pick your nose. Yeah. We stuck in the 70s, our UK correspondent has told us a law that they have there is driving without due care and attention. And
there you go.
I don't have a problem with that.
Very vague.
Yeah. So that you just pull someone over and give them a beat down if you feel like it. Yeah. We need something like that here because people are out of control.
You're right. That actually, I like that because it is all encompassing.
Right.
One law that fits everything.
Right.
You're not paying attention. You're not driving safely.
Right.
Here's your fine.
Well, here is a follow-up story. Not a good news story, but it is a follow-up story from a story we had months and months ago. Comes to us here from our home state of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the story where the guy had robbed a bank and he fled and he broke into this old lady's house and she died from a heart attack?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he didn't kill her. He just scared her. She had a heart attack.
Scared her to death.
Scared her to death, yes. Well, this is a follow-up on that. A man will spend the rest of his life, 40 years, we don't know, but the rest of his life in prison after he was found guilty in what prosecutors said was a case of scaring a 79-year-old North Carolina grandmother to death. Multiple media outlets reported a federal jury found 21-year-old Larry Whitfield not guilty of murder Friday in the death of Mary Parnell last year, but they did find him guilty of causing her death by kidnapping her, and that carries an automatic life sentence. Prosecutors say Whitfield was looking for somewhere to hide after a failed bank robbery attempt in Gastonia in September 2008 when he broke into Parnell's home. Authorities said Whitfield never touched the grandmother, but she suffered a heart attack when she saw him, and he didn't call for help. So I don't think we have a Good Samaritan law here in North Carolina, but if we did, that would be another thing against him there.
Right.
However, I'm kind of torn on this. Whenever you commit a crime whilst committing another felony or another crime, it becomes a felony.
Right.
It becomes a capital offense. So he was committing a felony, which was the bank robbery. And thus, anything that he does in there makes it a capital offense. I'm kind of torn. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get anything. In fact, he was robbing a bank and he was armed. I would have to say you can't punish people for something that they're capable of doing. But I would have to say he's probably worthy of a sentence. However, he never touched her. He didn't. I'm sure that he didn't intentionally mean for her to die. So there's definitely a fine line. However, I don't think it's unreasonable to say that he was at least she could have just been on the verge of having a heart attack and would have had it whether he'd been there or not. But if she was not well and he goes in and scares her and it shocks her and she has a heart attack, then he's responsible for that and he shouldn't have been breaking into her house. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's compounded by the fact that he didn't call for help. I know he's on the run, but leave and make an anonymous call.
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
dial 911.
Give the lady a chance.
Right, exactly. That,
So
I guess with the felony bank robbery, the breaking and entering, the kidnapping by staying there in her home and not getting her help.
Right.
I guess I don't have a problem with this sentence. I'm just saying when I took a step back and looked at it, I was like, well, he didn't kill her. But then maybe just make a statement. We have far too many criminals getting off for more serious offenses. So maybe this will make people think twice. I don't know.
And like you said, life in prison with time served for good behavior. He could be out in 20 years.
Right.
So who knows?
Exactly.
So you know much of your Christmas shopping yet?
I have not done one single bit.
Really?
No.
Well, if you've got somebody who's got everything, there's something that's on sale on eBay now.
Okay.
Mussolini's Blood and Brain is reportedly on sale on eBay. So, remnants of the Italian dictator Benito Mussolini in the form of his brain and blood were to be offered up to the highest bidder on eBay, the Times of London reported. So, Alessandra Mussolini, the far-right Italian politician and granddaughter of the fascist dictator, told Italian police that the preserved remains of the body were stolen from the hospital in Milan, where Mussolini's autopsy were conducted. The Italian leader, once known as Il Duce, was killed at the end of World War II. It was advised this morning that pieces of my grandfather's brain and some of his blood were being sold on eBay for 15,000 euros. And so initially that was offered for $22,290.
I'm not sure what the appeal would be there.
It was withdrawn shortly after it was after it appeared because it violated the rules of eBay.
No selling brain matter and blood.
So you missed out.
I did. That is an odd thing.
Yes.
But you know, I saw on, you mentioned eBay.
Craigslist maybe.
A couple of years ago, I saw on eBay air guitars.
Over.
and I'm looking at this, and people are bidding on them. And it shows a picture of this guy. It says, even comes with case. And there was a guitar case that was empty. It's talking about, like, now you can go to karaoke bars or your friend's house, and you can take this air guitar and walk out, and it comes with this nice, fashionable case. And people were bidding on it. They were paying money.
Wow, that's funny.
They were paying money for absolutely nothing, which
Hilarious.
just proves how crazy people are. I guess just so they could say they bid on it and won the bid. I don't know. Well, you had a story from Canada, so not to be overdone here, I have a story from Canada as well.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard about this. The lady from Canada who was getting sick leave benefits.
Yes, I have heard about this.
Yes. This is to let you know, for all you people out there on Facebook, you might want to be careful because it is on the World Wide Web.
Yes.
This is a story I've seen in multiple outlets here. Comes from Quebec. She was on sick leave for depression, and they found, the insurance company found her photos on Facebook of vacationing at a bar and at a party. She was at a bar with Chippendales dancing on her. She had a big smile on her face. She was at a bar, and she was partying with friends with a big smile on her face. And she was in a warm, sunny, tropic location with a smile on her face. Maybe she was thinking that maybe she was trying to battle her depression. I don't know. She said her doctor said she needed to do things that was fun. She said she took 3 4-day trips when she was feeling especially low on her psychiatrist's advice. Basically, they go on to say it's a good warning for people who use Facebook. It's not like being at home and writing in your diary. It's out there for the whole world to see. Yes. So I mean, I understand if you're feeling low and you're depressed, you shouldn't just stay at home and do nothing because that just worsens the depression. However, when you're on sick leave for a year and you're receiving your full benefits and you're taking trips and out partying and whatnot, I really don't know if I can take your side there.
Right.
I think you're a fraud and you're a charlatan and you're taking advantage, and that's not cool.
But on the flip side, even depressed people can take a vacation.
Well, sure. Yeah, but I don't know if
you should be able to do it on your company's dime.
Right. I mean, you should. I don't think you should be paid if it's not working. Here, I don't know. Anyhow, so just might want to be careful here on Facebook.
I was reading an article about Butterball. They've got a phone number you can call if you have questions about how to cook your turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Any idea how many phone calls they get a year?
I can't imagine. Probably a lot more than I can imagine.
100,000 calls. I mean,
preheat oven.
Right.
Light goes off. Turkey's placed in pan. Place pan in oven. Count to 60. I don't know. 360. I don't know what's wrong with that.
I don't know. But
and they're also on the turkey. On the Butterball turkey, there are directions there as well.
Right, and I think most of their turkeys come with a little thing that pops up
when it
tells you when it's done.
Right.
So
there's really no guesswork.
Not rocket science here.
Wow.
But there was 3 of the questions they got recently. One woman who cleaned out her turkey with a scrub brush asked if it was okay to do so.
After she had done it.
After she had cleaned out the cavity of the turkey with a scrub brush. people who like to throw asked if it was okay for them to thaw the turkey in a bathtub while washing their kids. They said don't do that. They said not advised. And a man looking for a quick way to cook his turkey, who put it in the oven on the cleaning cycle. They said that also was not advised.
You can't open your oven until the cleaning cycle's done. And what if it only needed half of it? It would be burnt.
Wow. Anyway.
I saw, actually, this was on TV, one of those morning shows, probably 12, 15 years ago.
Right.
They showed that you could cook your turkey in a dishwasher.
Oh.
They said if the turkey was completely thawed, if I remember correctly, you put it in the dishwasher and you ran it through 2 cycles, and at the end of the second cycle, it would be done. They said it would be moist because it would retain all its moisture. I've never tried it, and I never will. I think that's quite silly, but
it's like boiling a turkey, you would think.
Probably so.
Doesn't it like get real tender and fall apart and like go down the drain?
When you open it up, there's a bunch of bones. No need to carve the turkey, Uncle John. Here, let's gnaw on these bones.
Reminded me of the that bit on Saturday Night Live, the Bass-O-Matic.
Yeah.
Turkey-O-Matic. Have a turkey smoothie.
Some worms on top.
Yes.
Because turkeys they eat worms too.
Yes.
Well, this is just a short story and nothing funny or interesting. I just thought, the recession has kind of hit everybody. Everybody's looking for ways to cut corners. Well, the state of South Carolina has decided to downsize the State House Christmas tree.
Oh.
This year's tree is about 30 feet tall and doesn't even reach the top of the Confederate Soldiers Monument on the Capitol's front lawn. We're like nonprofits and other groups everywhere. We have to be a little more careful with our money. So they decided one way to cut corners there is to get a smaller tree. So not just affecting us, it's affecting everyone. It's affecting our government more than us, I think. But, yeah. So
I have a story about a woman who tried to do a good thing. But her intentions were right.
Right.
But she did something wrong. Robin Hood banker gave millions to poor. A German banker who secretly transferred millions of pounds from rich clients to debt-ridden customers has been spared jail. The 62-year-old, dubbed the Robin Hood banker, was found guilty of moving more than 7.6 million euros between 2003 and 2007. She carried out 117 separate transfers to try and stop people's accounts closing due to lack of funds. As a rule, the banker, whose name was not reported under German media rules, moved the money back when the embedded clients were solvent again. But 1.1 million euros was lost when certain customers were unable to pay their debts. So, a court in the western city of Bonn took a lenient view of the fraud because the defendant owned up to it immediately and did not take any money for herself. The judge also said the banker had suffered enough after losing her job and paying compensation. The manager was given a 22-month suspended jail term, according to police reports.
Did she wear tight pants? And can she get a job at my bank? She's probably blacklisted.
Yes, probably. But I'd hire her.
Yeah, I would too. Well, I have 3 stories left, but I have one that I absolutely want to get to.
We'll get to it.
Before we head out. So, do you have anything else?
Yeah, go ahead. Yours is probably much better than what I have left.
Well, I'll share 2. I'll close that other one because it's about growing meat without animals, and that sounds too weird to me. Here comes from Melbourne, Australia. An Australian man was in stable condition Monday after being slashed across the abdomen and face by a kangaroo that was holding his dog underwater.
I've read this.
This is a murderous kangaroo.
Yes.
Chris Rickard, 49, said he was walking his blue heeler, Rocky, on Sunday morning when they surprised the sleeping kangaroo. The dog chased the animal into a pond, but then it turned and pinned the pet underwater. When he tried to pull his dog free, the kangaroo turned on him, attacking with his hind legs and tearing a deep gash into his abdomen and across his face. I thought it might take a hit or two, dragging the dog out from under his grip, but I didn't expect him to actually attack me. It was a shock at the start because it was a kangaroo, about 5 feet high. They don't go around killing people. Kangaroos rarely attack humans, but will fight if they feel threatened. Dogs often chase them, which have been known to lead pets into water and then pin them underwater as a means of defense. He said the attack ended by elbowing the kangaroo in the throat, adding that Rocky was half drowned when he pulled him out of the water.
Wow.
So he saved the animal,
right?
His dog, which is good, and the kangaroo was saved. But this dude, you can see these pictures here. I mean, this is and they said it was deep across his ab. Wow. But look at that there on his shoulder. I mean,
right.
He's got some serious slashes there.
I didn't realize these kangaroos were so brutal.
Now, I've heard they are quite strong.
Right, I have heard that.
They're very strong, deceivingly so. But, I mean, you consider 5 foot tall. I mean, it's a fairly large animal.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was interesting that a defense mechanism they do when they're chased is lead the pet into water and then, drown it. So it's pretty smart. I have to read this here. A grandmother didn't get pulled over, but she did blow a .415. A grandmother was arrested and charged Tuesday with driving more than 5 times the legal limit while her 5-year-old granddaughter was in the vehicle. So, wow. According to
she was driving without due care and attention.
Yes, she was definitely. Someone at her weight, 180 pounds, according to her ticket, would have to consume more than 12 drinks in several hours to register that high. There is a possibility of coma and death due to respiratory arrest.
Wow.
And a few of the comments here is saying something about after drinking that much, I'm surprised she didn't find the car and so on. But, I mean, that's horrible. She had her 5-year-old granddaughter in the car.
Oh, my goodness.
That's just an excuse.
Where did this happen?
It didn't say.
What's that picture of there?
That's a baboon.
Okay. Grandma.
That's the 180-pound grandma. Nicknamed Fred. We're confusing those stories here. Do you have something?
I got one other one. It wasn't as good as the kangaroo.
Okay.
But I have a man who was in a 23-year coma. He thought he was in a coma for 23 years. Mm-hmm. He was actually alive and conscious the whole time.
Okay. Well, he must not have been able to talk.
No, he couldn't talk. He couldn't respond. He couldn't scream. He said he would try to scream, no words, nothing would come out.
So he was in a coma-like state as far as the people that were witnessing.
Right.
But
they thought he was in a coma.
Wow.
Right, and he was actually conscious the entire time.
Wow.
But it wasn't until his doctors did he got in that state after a car crash, mm-hmm. and they assumed he was in a coma, and like you said, he was in a coma-like state. And then they ended up doing this brain scan that showed that his brain was functioning normally,
right.
And like a conscious person, and then they eventually got him on the right medication, and now he's not, normal,
right.
But he can type out messages on the computer now, and he's got, mm-hmm. Some mobility left.
23 years.
23 years. People thought he was in a coma, and he was actually conscious the whole time.
Wow, that had to be an absolute nightmare for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He said he tried to make up dreams so he could just dream of a better life while he was laying there and nobody acknowledging his existence.
Well, here we go. My last story that I want to get to. Baboon gangs in South Africa get more aggressive. There's gangs of baboons.
Oh.
And right here, in the picture, you see this is Fred. He eats fruit inside of a car. He broke into the car and stole fruit, and he's eating it.
That's initiation.
Yes. People that are going there for a holiday destination are worried about becoming victim of the country's high crime rate, could find themselves instead robbed by a more furry kind of felon, a baboon. These primates are opening doors, jumping through windows in pursuit of tasty sandwiches and snacks. City officials are battling to control the more increasingly aggressive troops, and there are fears problems will only worsen with the influx of visitors during the World Cup next year. They may even go breaking out into the soccer field, take over. You never know.
Right.
On Tuesday, a troop of 29 baboons raided 4 cars outside Simonstown, a small coastal neighborhood. A baboon dubbed Fred, leader of the group, opened unlocked doors and jumped through windows to search for food.
Where is this?
In Cape Town. He ransacked a bag in the back seat of a red car as the couple panicked about their passports. A girl screamed nearby as a baboon hopped into her car through the back window, and others climbed on car roofs and hoods looking for ways inside. They're just going on. I mean, look at this one. You can't see the pictures on the radio, but there's this one. He's standing right at the door. He's like, "Hey, let me in." He's grabbing the handle. And here's another one. He's crawling in through the window, and the person all freaked out.
Right. There's the window's cracked 7 inches.
Right.
And he's crawling in through the opening.
And here's one where they're in the back seat, basically tearing the car inside. They're getting very cheeky.
They're giving baboons a bad name.
They are. But Fred, he's the leader.
Yes,
he's the leader of the gang.
Yeah, they are. They're giving law-abiding baboons a bad name.
They certainly are. Wish you guys could see those pictures because they're quite humorous.
Well, I found my good story I wanted to share.
Well, we have 25 seconds.
I'm not going to give it to him tonight. I'm going to save it. I'm going to use it as a teaser.
Teaser.
It's about a heroic 2-year-old boy.
A heroic 2-year-old boy.
Tune in next week, and you can hear about a heroic 2-year-old boy.
Yes. And hopefully next week we won't have the issues,
yes.
Technical issues. Thank you.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next week.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of CNE. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show, live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.